we are going to start with the new chapter called as ecosystem and the energy flow. Okay, now the question arises that how the ecosystem and energy flow topic is introduced into your syllabus. As we already see the previous chapter, that is organisms and population, and during the introduction of that topic we have also seen how the organism and population topic is introduced in your syllabus. So remember the students that first lecture, in that we have seen the higher level of organization, how the higher level of organization is developed. So as we know that the chart, it is starting from the organism. When some organisms come together, they will make a population. Population will make a community. Community will make an ecosystem. There are some of the ecosystems which will make biome and biosphere. So in the previous chapter we already seen the 2 points or 2 components, that is organism and population, and in that unit we also see some of the community interactions. Okay, in the last of this chapter we have seen the various types of interaction that is related with the community. So 3 points covered in this chapter, in the previous chapter. So in this chapter we are going to see the ecosystem, which is the 4th part of that higher level of organization, and within that ecosystem and energy flow of that ecosystem we are going to see. So that's how the topic is introduced in your syllabus. Now actually we are going to see later, but first we will see which points we are going to take in that topic. So we are talking about the ecosystem, so which aspects we are going to take to study about the ecosystem. So first we will see the points. First of all, we are going to see the introduction of an ecosystem. That means who introduced the term ecosystem. That is very much important. Then how the inventor is going to define that term. That means the definition of that term ecosystem. Now in that, structure and the function of an ecosystem is very important. Now how is their structure? What is the function of an ecosystem? We are going to see in this chapter. It is the introductory part. Then next part is nothing but the productivity and decomposition. These 2 are nothing but the function of an ecosystem. Productivity and decomposition, how it is working, how is their function, and how it is beneficial to the environment, we are going to see in the latter lectures. Then we are going to see the energy flow. Okay, in the energy flow, how the energy is transferred from one organism to another organism, or how is the flow of the energy, we are going to see in this chapter. This is nothing but the 3rd function of an ecosystem. So we are going to generally see the functions of ecosystem, or productivity, decomposition. 3rd one is the energy flow, and 4th one, it is nothing but the nutrient cycle. Okay, there are various nutrient cycle in the environment, in the ecosystem, or in the nature. So generally there are 2 types of the nutrient cycle. One is the gaseous nutrient cycle, and second one is the sedimentary nutrient cycle. So in the gaseous type of nutrient cycle, there are many examples like that of the nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle. Okay, these are the gaseous type of nutrient cycle. Then sedimentary type of nutrient cycle, example is the phosphorus. Phosphorus cycle is an example of sedimentary nutrient cycle. So from each we are taking one example. So for the gaseous we are going to take the carbon cycle, and for this elementary we are going to see the phosphorus cycle. So nutrient cycle, two of the cycles we are going to study, carbon cycle and phosphorus cycle, and some part of the nitrogen cycle we are going to take. So these are the four functions of an ecosystem: productivity, then decomposition, then energy flow, and fourth one is the nutrient cycle. In the another point is, it is included under the energy flow, but it is somewhat different. So it is called as the pyramids. Okay, ecological pyramids. Now, what is their function, ecological pyramids, and how or what are the ecological pyramids? In that, different pyramids are there. By that pyramid we are going to see the food chain or food web. So ecological pyramids majorly of three types we are going to see: pyramid of biomass, pyramid of energy, then pyramid of number. These three aspects we are going to study under the ecological pyramids. Okay, this is included under the chapter ecosystem. Then point is the ecological succession. In that we are going to see how the ecological succession develop. That means the steps of the succession, means how the succession is developed, what are the steps, these all are going to see in this chapter. Then ecological succession may be on the two parts. Okay, ecological succession may be in the aquatic medium or in the terrestrial or dry area, or we can call it as dry area and marshy area. So that type of ecological succession, it is divided into majorly two parts. One is the Girard's succession and second one is the Hydrar's succession. And that type of ecological succession, that two conditions are very different from each other. One is very dry and one is very marshy, okay, place. So in that such places, what is the ecological succession, how the succession develops, we are going to see, okay, in detail. And after the ecological succession, the last part is nothing but the ecosystem services. That means while the working of an ecosystem, what are the services provided to the environment, to the other animals, and exactly to the ecosystem. So the services are different and it is in the different manner. So these all points we are going to cover within that unit, ecosystem and energy flow. So in simple language, in this unit we are going to study the ecosystem, the phenomena of ecosystem or the term ecosystem with all that aspects, that is its structure, its function, and in that function there are subunits are there. Then ecological succession, it may be hydras or giras. Then ecological pyramids, where in that pyramid of biomass, pyramid of number, pyramid of energy. And lastly we are going to see the benefits of the ecosystem. That means the services provided by the ecosystem we are going to see. So now we are going to see the actual unit that is called as the ecosystem and energy flow.